Hey everybody, Daryl and Holly, Exquisite Exotics here. Today's video is just a quick little update for a project we were working on. Our GTP has outgrown his old enclosure. That's actually his second enclosure from when we got him. And it's time for him to move into his adult enclosure. So this will be his last enclosure for the rest of his life. Well, unless something happens to the enclosure, of course. So we wanted to kind of walk you through the process. We decided kind of to build our own from like a really cheap enclosure we were able to get. So we're going to go ahead and show you what all we did. And then we'll come back to close it out. Holly, do you have anything here at the beginning?
Not in the beginning.
All right, let's get started and show you what we did.
I don't know. You guys might be thinking, here's crazy. Here's Freedom Breeders. And why do you have this old beat up enclosure? But you know what? Sometimes it's all about saving some money. And we got a really good deal on 5 of these older 24 by 24 cubes. And we knew the GTP was going to need a bigger enclosure. So we thought, you know what? We will make this work. So we're going to take you through the process. And this is not dirt. This is UV damage. You can tell the difference in color. That's actually in the plastic. So we probably won't be able to do anything about that. You can really tell in some of these side spots where the UV is over the years has changed the color. But that's all right. We've got some perches built into it that are way too big for what we need. And there's no heat panel or anything up top there. So what is nice is it hinges. And what I really like is it's got 3 locks on the door. So triple the protection from it getting out. So let's see what we can do with this and turn this old 24 by 24 cube into a nice looking, or at least decent looking, GTP enclosure. All right, so challenge number 1. The old perches are held on by rivets, not bolts. So it is time to drill out rivets. 12 of them, 6 on each side. All right, so we have drilled out all those guys, which means no more holders inside. And we were thinking about this, and I think we're going to try, the inside actually looks pretty good. It's not too UV beat up, not like the outside, which is really bad. So I think we're going to attempt to make it look a little nicer on the outside at least. All right, here we are in the cricket room, in the shipping room. You guys know how this goes. We got cricket noise in the background, and I can't do anything about it. So we said, let's see if we can make this look a little better. I would say that looks a lot better than it did before. So, can of spray, some taping, some spray painting, and here we are, looking a lot better than it did. I will say, hindsight, I probably would not have spray painted it in the future if we do another one. I would get some like low VOC regular paint and brush it on or roll it on. That spray paint took weeks to air out of us setting this thing outside and letting it air out till the spray paint smell was completely gone. So keep in mind if you're going to spray paint, notice we didn't spray paint the inside where the animal actually is. We only spray painted the outside, not the inside, because we didn't want the smell in there. And expect that it's going to take a long time until that paint smell goes away, and you don't want to put your animal in there until then. So next step, we've got some pieces here from Specialty Enclosure Designs. We've got some perch. Ooh, geez, dark. There we go. We got some perch holders. The other side of that perch holder has the anti-spin on it. We've also got some slightly larger perch holders. We've got a water bowl holder.
And check out these beautiful.
Yeah, hold on, let's get some good light. There we go. Look at these nice branches, also by Specialty Enclosure Design. And because we ordered, it's on this end, I think. Yeah, because we ordered from him, he went ahead and notched it for us as well. So we'll have to cut these down to length on this end to fit in there. But he sells them in 1-foot increments. So we got 2 of those, 1 on each size we need. So really nice stuff from him. We're going to go ahead, start drilling into this thing and get some of this stuff mounted up. All right, we're moving stuff in now. So that tub right there with the holes, that's where he's currently at, and way too small, needs moved up, hence why we're doing this project. And here's where the new cube is. So what we got done since you last saw, try to get in here without blocking the light too much, we've got perches in here. We decided to go with 3 instead of 2. We thought that we get better air movement throughout the thing. Not air movement, I'm sorry. Better locations for him to thermoregulate throughout with 3 instead of just 2. So we got 3 perches in there for him. We've got the water bowl holder over there. We got the heat panel installed on the top. We've got the probe there. kind of below the heat panel near where this one perch is to keep an eye on what the temperature is right below that heat panel. And then this came with some air ventilation for us. We ended up opening up one of the sides, and of course the top is right now open, but we'll play around with ventilation as we need to. And then we went ahead and got this installed up onto Herpstat up there. So it's up and running. The other thing running on the Herpstat is his current enclosure. So we'll go ahead and we let this sit for a couple days. So the next thing for us is going ahead and moving him up into here. Okay, as you can tell, he has outgrown his current enclosure, which is why we were building this on a rush. Unfortunately, that weeks of waiting wasn't the greatest for the spray paint, but it's done now, and here he is getting ready to go in. So we'll just let him come off of his old perch in his own good time. We left the old water bowl in there. Went ahead and put the new one in as well, so he knows where water is still. And we will let him go ahead and do his move. So he is good to go. And here we are just a couple hours later, and we'll open this up so you guys don't see my reflection so bad. 3 little latches and open we go. And there he is. He's already moved himself on up. Only took him a couple hours. That's much more appropriate perch size for him. You want to look for, when you're looking for perch sizes, you kind of want their bodies just kind of touch there at the bottom, which his does. And if he needs something a little bigger, that one in the back's a little bigger too. So should be a good size for him. And he is good to go. All right, there's the whole build, and you see he's already in it. It only took him a couple hours to go from his old perch up to that new one. That's a much better sized perch for him. The one that was there was definitely too small. Unfortunately, that waiting for that spray paint to dry took forever. And he was in that old enclosure a little longer than we would have liked, but he's where he needs to be now. So, and he looks to be nice and settled in only a couple hours. This weekend will be the first feed for him, so hopefully he'll feed, which will tell us how he's feeling about his new enclosure, because if he's eating, he's pretty stress-free normally. So that is the upgrade for the GTP enclosure. I know sometimes people like to see what's going on with the GTP, so I think overall, given what we started with, I think it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, actually, like what you were saying, take away the fact that the spray painting, which took you like no time to actually spray paint it. It took you a lot more to make it, tape it up to make sure that you didn't get spray paint inside. But just sitting for 2 weeks at least, I think it was, trying to get the smell out, and it was one of those like, well, it's already there, you know, we got to let it air out. Taking that away, it really was only a few hours project, I think, really. It was very nice we were able to come across those cubes, because
I think it was like a month and a half of it.
Was it really? I don't really feel like it was that long, but I could be wrong, because it had been a while. I mean, granted, we are just now getting really warm here in Maryland. It was just kind of cooler for a while, so we didn't put it ventilated on like wet days or anything, because I mean, it's not going to ventilate very well. So yeah, I mean, that might have hindered it too, but so we don't recommend spray painting if you're trying to, if you kind of wait a little bit to the last minute and you're like, oh, okay, well, it's time, and you got to wait.
Not recommended.
It's not recommended.
But if you like plan way ahead, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I mean, it still worked out, but yeah, you could see the size difference from the new versus the old. Now, granted, the new is pretty huge.
Yeah, it's a 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot.
It's not exactly like, you know, the minimum that he needs anyway. It's a little bit of more luxury.
Yeah, it's about the right size for an adult.
So? 2 by 2?
For an adult male, that's about the right size. Okay. He's a male, by the way, if you guys haven't watched any of our previous videos. We bought him unsexed. He shed out, definitely. Shed out from the heavy peens. He's definitely a male. So I think it's a good, I think it's will be his adult closure his whole life. 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot. It's a really good size for a full-grown male, at least, you know, from what we've read, because we're going off other people's experience. We don't have a lot of experience with GTPs. This is our first and only one. So, but yeah, 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, and he looks good in there. I think it looks.
He does look really good in there. I like it. I like the setup. So.
And listen, could we have bought something that looked nicer? Absolutely, for another $300 more than what we probably spent.
Probably.
Yeah. So for what we spent, which was really cheap for those cubes, because we bought a whole bunch and the person gave us a discount for buying multiples, so really cheap. I think it turned out fairly well.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
That's it for this week, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, and we'll see y'all next week.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.